Scroll wheel jumping is cheating and scripting and takes no skill. This is what many people seem to think. I'm happy that more people know about b-hopping, because it is an awesome skill expression mechanic. But the more people know about it, the more of them are vulnerable to disinformation. And you can't blame them, it is all very complicated and unintuitive for people unfamiliar with source engine rules. And not everyone is willing to be nerdy about these things, and that's fine. Disinformation in this case makes it frustrating to play against and easy to judge players using it as cheaters, because lack of knowledge transforms into jumping into conclusions. It might feel unfair, but it is just one of many skill gaps in TF2. Imagine you are the player who have never ever tried b-hopping, and you just bound your scroll wheel to jump, and went b-hopping in the game without any experience and knowledge. You would quickly experience high inconsistency. You might eventually hit one b-hop, but you still won't know why exactly. Only after some time you will realize that you have to time your jumps and not spam randomly for it to work, or just get frustrated and call b-hopping scripting. For us to understand b-hopping, we have to dive into the mechanics of it. The server output. The game server has a set trick rate and runs checks every other tick to see if you are airborne and applies blast jump effect accordingly. Your local game, to run smoothly for you, doesn't run in perfect sync with the server. This is where tick rate smoothing comes in. It tries to sync your local TF2 to the game server. But it's flawed. It doesn't run every other tick and tends to desync. Sometimes this can create holes in blast jump status check, allowing you to touch ground and keep the crit. These holes in tick rate checks are created randomly. It depends on your connection to the server and server itself. Sometimes the tick rate hole might be more than 2 ticks long, allowing for 6 or 7 b-hop chains, and sometimes 0 ticks, making b-hop impossible. This is why b-hopping isn't 100% consistent, even with scripts automatically sending hundreds inputs to the server for you. This perfect consistency can be only achieved by external cheating programs. The human input. Inputs we send to the game server are still sent by us, the player. We only have control on how we send these inputs and what hardware we use. Hardware plays a role too, to a certain degree, because if your game underperforms in FPS and they fluctuate, you might lose consistency in sending inputs. The key is creating the best environment for the most optimized input sending. It is possible to use a spacebar for b-hopping, but you only input one jump per tick. You have to be incredibly, even inhumanly accurate to be consistent with this method. This is exactly why we use the scroll wheel. But it is not as simple as spamming the scroll wheel randomly all the time, because you would rarely hit consistent b-hops that way. It is hard to say how many actions exactly can be input in one tick, but no regs happen, so judging by that example, we can see that not every action sent to the server is executed. So even with a constant stream of inputs, the game might just ignore half of them, making b-hops even more random. Whole randomly spamming literally conflicts with the word consistent. It's hard to be consistent when you rely on randomness to achieve your goals. Timing bursts of inputs is way more beneficial for a better chance of hitting a b-hop. This way you don't overwhelm the server and usually get your wanted result, the b-hop. This is where the skill lies. Learning the timing is the skill you have to practice. Not always you jump in a consistent arc, you might hit a ceiling, or crouch jump. All of these modify the timing, and you have to adapt to that. Scroll wheel versus spacebar. This is where all heated discussions start. Some would swear they can hit the same amount of b-hops on spacebar and scroll wheel. Some use only spacebar and some are using only scroll. But we know what is objectively better. Bursts of inputs are, so the scroll wheel is more beneficial for more consistent b-hops compared to spacebar. You just can't defend the fact the spacebar sends only one input at the time, and scroll, well, scrolls through 3 to 4 inputs. This simple fact makes using the spacebar just a flex, and scroll wheel the default option. The way I see it, it's personal preference. As long as you don't use external scripts, it is fine by me. It is still well-timed human input, you just change the way you mechanically input it by your hand. Although jumping on spacebar is just making it unnecessary hard for you to get the same result, it is quite impressive. Just remember that no one watching your clips will ever notice a difference in spacebar b-hop and a scroll one, and people pretty much expect b-hops to be scroll wheel. Of course, you might add keyboard overlays to your gameplay to prove your legibility, but even these can be easily faked, and vice versa. It is just not worth it. I personally use scroll wheel and this is what I advise. It is what I used for most of my time spent on various source engine games and built my muscle memory around. In conclusion, it doesn't matter what input you use, because by the end of the day, you still have to learn the timing. Technique is the same, just one input is easier than another. Scroll wheel doesn't make it 100% consistent but makes it consistent enough to be viable in fights. Thank you for watching and remember, I only exist online. Hehe.